in the morning.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for another massive dive into the daily drama. Today is a crazy day to talk about the absolute chaos unfolding in Genoa City because the storylines are just exploding right now. We have so much raw information to unpack about the Newman family and the Winters family, so let's just get right into the thick of it. And let me tell you, Summer Newman is not playing games anymore. She came back to Genoa City with a massive chip on her shoulder. And honestly, can you blame her? Because she found that secret file. The one that proves Victor Newman used fake evidence to steal Newman Enterprises from her mother. Phyllis Summers was at her absolute lowest point. She was ready to just surrender and go to prison because she was cornered by Christine and Victor. But then Summer swooped in like an avenging angel with the digital proof Daniel helped secure. And now Summer is armed with so much explosive dirt on her grandfather. But it's not just about Phyllis and AI forgery anymore, because Summer just stumbled onto something else. Something that is going to blow the roof off the Newman family dynamic. She found out exactly what Victor is doing to Matt Clark right now, and it is nasty. So incredibly nasty. So let's talk about Matt Clark for a second. The guy is a total wild card. He has this supposed amnesia. Or maybe he's recovering his memories. Or maybe he's just playing everyone. It's a total mess. But Victor Newman doesn't care about Matt's mental state or his past crimes. Victor only cares about leverage, and Victor is forcing Matt to act as his personal spy. His loyal little detective. Why? To take down Kane Ashby, because Lily Winters just did the unthinkable, and handed Kane almost total control of Chancellor Industries. And Victor is absolutely furious about that betrayal. So Victor is blackmailing and forcing Matt to dig up dirt on Kane, to cyberstalk him, to ruin him, and Summer found out about this whole twisted arrangement. She found out Victor is basically holding Matt hostage to his demands to fight a proxy war against Kane, and Summer is absolutely disgusted. She is seeing her grandfather for the manipulative monster he really is. And Summer's first instinct, burn it all down. Just take a match to Victor's entire empire. She wants to go public. She wants to expose the whole truth about Victor forcing Matt to spy on Kane. She wants the whole world to see how Victor manipulates people, how he uses them as pawns in his endless corporate games. Summer is so full of righteous anger right now. She wants to clear her mother's name, sure, but now she also wants to blow the whistle on this Matt Clark situation, because it proves a pattern. It proves Victor is completely out of control and believes he is above the law, and Summer is ready to call a massive press conference, or go to the police, or just scream it from the rooftops of the GCC. She wants Victor to face the music, finally, after decades of getting away with destroying lives. But there is a massive roadblock standing in her way. And that roadblock is her own father, Nick Newman. Because Nick is not in a good place right now, at all. Nick is currently battling a severe fentanyl addiction, an addiction that was actually fueled by Matt Clark back in Las Vegas. Remember that absolute nightmare? Matt kidnapped Nick, tied him up in a storage room, pumped him full of drugs to make him spiral out of control and ruin his life. Nick is traumatized. He is broken. He is trying so hard to get clean and stay in his outpatient rehab program. He is fighting for his life and his sanity every single day. So when Nick hears about Summer's plan to publicly expose Victor and Matt, he absolutely panics. I mean, total meltdown mode. Nick is terrified, and he has every right to be. Because a public war with Victor Newman is not just a little family squabble. It is a nuclear event that leaves casualties everywhere. And Nick knows exactly how Victor operates. If Summer goes public with this Matt and Kane spy plot, Victor will retaliate. He won't just sit back and take it. Victor will unleash hell on everyone involved. And Nick is terrified of what that public war will do to the family. He is terrified of the media circus, the police investigations, the absolute chaos that will descend on Genoa City. Nick just wants peace. He wants stability so he can focus on healing his brain and his body. He is begging Summer to just stop and think. Because exposing Victor means going to war with the most ruthless man in town. And Nick doesn't think Summer is ready for the fallout. He doesn't think anyone is ready for it. Especially not him. Because Nick is barely holding it together as it is. He is sweating. He is shaking. He is just so scared of the noise. But it's not just about the family drama. Nick is also deeply worried about Newman Enterprises. He tells Summer that blowing the whistle on Victor's manipulation of Matt will completely destabilize the company. The stock prices will plummet. The board of directors will panic. The investors will pull out. Newman Enterprises is already on incredibly shaky ground because of the whole Phyllis takeover mess and the missing employees. If Summer drops this new bomb about corporate espionage and blackmail, it could destroy the company entirely. And Nick, despite everything his father has done, still cares about the family legacy. He doesn't want to see Newman Enterprises burn to the ground just to teach Victor a lesson. He thinks there has to be a better way, a quieter way. A way that doesn't involve nuking the entire corporate structure of their family business and leaving thousands of people unemployed. And then there is the most heartbreaking part of all this, Nick's own recovery. Nick looks at Summer with these desperate, tired eyes, and he tells her that he can't handle the stress. He just can't. His rehab is so fragile right now. Every single day is a massive struggle not to use again. The fentanyl cravings are intense. The trauma from Vegas is still fresh in his mind. The feeling of being tied up and helpless. If Summer starts a massive public war with Victor, the stress will be astronomical. And Nick is terrified that the pressure will push him right back to the pills, right back to the addiction that almost killed him. He is basically begging his daughter not to do this because it might cost him his life. He is telling her that his sobriety cannot survive a Newman civil war right now. And that is a ridiculously heavy burden to place on Summer's shoulders. But wait. There is another twist. Nick is also worried about Matt Clark, which is crazy, right, considering what Matt did to him, the torture, the kidnapping. But Nick points out something very important. If Summer exposes the fact that Matt is spying on Kane for Victor, it puts a massive target on Matt's back. Victor will punish Matt for being exposed. Or Kane might go after Matt violently, or the police might get involved and Matt could end up in a worse situation. Nick doesn't fully understand Victor's endgame here. He doesn't know all the moving pieces of this Chancellor takeover war, and Nick warns Summer that exposing Matt right now could actually endanger Matt's life. Or it could complicate Victor's plans in a way that blows back on all of them. Nick is saying that they are dealing with highly volatile people. Victor, Matt, Kane. It's a powder keg. And Summer is holding a lit match. So you have this incredibly tense confrontation between father and daughter. Summer is pacing around the room, waving her arms, fired up with all this evidence. She is yelling about justice. About how Victor can't keep getting away with treating people like garbage. She is talking about how Matt is being abused by Victor's power, even if Matt is a criminal. And Nick is just sitting there, looking exhausted, looking pale, pleading with her to take a less confrontational approach. Nick is saying things like, Summer, please, just wait. Let's find another way. You don't know what you're unleashing. He is trying to be the voice of reason, but his voice is shaking. Because he is so scared of relapsing. He is so scared of Victor. He is just a broken man trying to protect his daughter from a monster. And it is so hard to watch. And Summer hears him. She really does. She looks at her dad and sees how much pain he is in. She sees the physical toll the addiction is taking on him. And she loves her dad so much. The last thing Summer wants to do is cause Nick to relapse. She doesn't want to be the reason her father spirals back into fentanyl addiction and ends up dead. She doesn't want to destroy Newman Enterprises either, because that is her legacy too. She takes Nick's concerns very seriously, but at the same time, her blood is boiling. She knows Victor is wrong. She knows that forcing Matt to spy on Kane is illegal and immoral. She knows Victor forged that evidence against her mom. She is torn between being a protective daughter and being a warrior for justice. It is tearing her apart inside. And let's not forget how Kane Ashby fits into all this mess. Kane is currently walking around Chancellor Industries like he owns the place, because Lily gave him that co-CEO power. And Victor hates it. So Victor is using that to dig up dirt to ruin Kane. If Summer exposes this, Kane is going to go ballistic. Kane is already paranoid about being digitally stalked. He is already trying to hide his own shady financial deals that Malcolm Winters found out about. If Kane finds out Victor has Matt actively spying on him, Kane might do something drastic. The ripple effects of Summer's truth bomb would hit every major player in Genoa City, the Winters family, the Newmans, diabetes. Everyone would be dragged into the mud. And Nick knows this. He sees the big picture. He knows the collateral damage will be immense. Because Victor Newman does not lose gracefully, ever, if Summer backs him into a corner and publicly exposes his blackmail of Matt Clark, Victor will strike back with everything he has. He might try to destroy Summer's life. He might go after Phyllis even harder and ensure she rots in a cell. He might use his vast resources to crush Nick's rehab facility or cut off his funds. Victor is a dangerous animal when he is trapped, and Nick is trying to explain this to Summer. You can't just poke the bear and expect to walk away without a scratch. Victor will make them all bleed. And Nick is just too tired to bleed anymore. He just wants to heal. He wants Matt to stay out of their lives. He wants Victor to just stop fighting. But Victor never stops. He is obsessed with control. But despite all of Nick's pleading, despite the tears and the fears of relapse, Summer remains determined. She is not going to just let this go. She is her mother's daughter. After all, she has that Phyllis Summers fire in her veins. She knows that staying silent makes her complicit in Victor's crimes. She knows that if she doesn't stop Victor now, he will just keep hurting people. He will keep using Matt as a weapon. He will keep torturing Phyllis. He will keep destroying lives for the sake of his corporate empire. So Summer makes a decision. She is going to bring the truth to light. She has to. But she also realizes she needs to be smart about it. She can't just throw a grenade into the room and run away. She needs a tactical strike. She needs to be calculating. So now Summer is desperately searching for a solution. A way to protect Matt from Victor's wrath. Even though Matt is a villain, a way to get justice for her mom, a way to stop the spying on Kane. But most importantly, a way to do it without causing a massive public spectacle that will trigger Nick's addiction. She is looking for a less confrontational approach, just like Nick asked. Maybe she can use the evidence to secretly blackmail Victor into backing off. Maybe she can quietly feed the information to Kane or Lily so they can handle it themselves without the Newman name being dragged through the press. Summer is plotting. She is scheming. She is trying to thread a tiny, impossible needle, because she refuses to let Victor win, but she refuses to lose her father in the process. And the clock is ticking loudly, because Matt is still out there, gathering intel on Kane for Victor. Victor is still pulling the strings and acting like a king. And Nick is still fighting his demons every single hour of the day, praying he doesn't slip up. The tension in the Newman family is at an absolute breaking point. Summer holds all the cards right now. She has the files, she has the knowledge of the espionage, and what she chooses to do next is going to change the landscape of Genoa City forever. Will she risk her father's life for justice? Will she find a way to outsmart Victor at his own game quietly? We are all just sitting here on the edge of our seats waiting for the explosion, because secrets never stay buried for long. And this one is about to blow sky high.